Yo, yo, yo.
Meow.
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. Top of the afternoon to you, my friend.
Top of the morning, top of the morning.
Good morning.
Man, do you think J. Cole has I think J. Cole has words for Kendrick now. I think he dropped something.
Yeah, we're like a week late to this, but we should probably talk about it. Um, Dude, this whole like rapper diss thing, I don't know if it's um publicity or if there's actual real beef there. Is this fake beef like Subway beef, or is this real beef like white goo?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure. And a couple things are throwing me off. One is I don't care anymore. And also Drake hasn't like done anything that I'm aware of. You know what I mean? He's been quiet. Um if anything, I've just been seeing him get twerked on by Sexy Red, which tells me he's moved on to better things.
Where they asked you where you've been, you said on a better things. Damn,
That was playing in my head. So I'm glad we're on the same page.
for sure, for sure. I agree that it's kind of just washed at this point. Like, why are these guys still like? I don't have beef with other podcasters, and most people
I
in their
do.
job. Fair enough. Actually, I do. I have a lot of problems with it, but I'm not going to go on mic and blast them.
Yeah, we're kind of like the industry pariahs, you know what I mean? Or piranhas. We're just kind of like, a toxic kind of like tumor on the industry.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm just leeching off of the success of others. But okay, maybe podcasting is a terrible example because it actually does have an aspect of dissing associated. I diss you, you diss me, we diss the other podcasters.
Yeah.
You could call it unlinking and deconstructing. Mhm.
Deconstructing
Burning bridges. Yeah, that too.
Um, anyways, it's a beautiful day. We're locked in this dungeon. It's like beautiful sunny and yeah, what are we doing today? We're sipping lagers. It's what do you got going on after?
Oh, you know me. It's Friday, so it's a date night activation with the girly.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the thing, I like to take her out, spend payday,
yeah.
wine and dine, as you will.
Nice.
Not sure where, not sure how, but
Yeah, you're not one to plan dinners really far in advance. You're kind of like a, you know, got any space for two kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah. You wouldn't believe how often I end up on a 2-hour wait list because of my spontaneity.
Wow. I wonder what would happen if you added up all of the times you've been on a wait list, like the total cumulative hours, and like, I don't know, just tack that on to the end of your life. Like, how much longer would you live, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of scary to think about like the amount of time we put into that, like because it's kind of inadvertent conscription in a way. Like you don't really even realize you've given your life to the table for
Mhm.
two.
Yeah, that's right. We're prisoners to the wait list.
Like the hostess has so much power to control us.
They really do. And I lose trust with them more and more every single time, because like I want to believe it's 45 minutes, but sometimes when they say 45, it's actually 20, and sometimes it's an hour. So,
This is
I
what is
mean,
cool about Subway is that like it encourages free thinking, not just when you're making the sandwich, but when you walk in the door and you see that lineup for ordering your foot long,
mhm,
there's 7 people, 10 people, maybe only 2 people. It's
mhm,
variable, but it's up to you to make the decision about whether or not you're going to eat there.
yeah. You know what though? Um, the lineup is no longer an accurate representation of the wait time because there's a couple other factors here. Number of artists.
Mm.
Okay, you look at me like I'm saying something out
Number of
loud.
artists, like you mean like a billboard, Billboard Hot 100?
Oh shit. Yeah. Is this sub going to be in the top 100 of subs I've ever had?
You're
Oh
talking
yeah.
about the Coachella lineup, or are you talking about Subway here? What is number of artists? Quantity?
What do you mean? Yeah, number of artists, quantity of artists, people making the sandwich. Um, okay, and the other thing is how many ghost sandwiches, ghost customers there are. You know what I mean? Because there's pickup happening at the same time, and you think you're next in line, and all of a sudden it starts making a bowl. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that is the single most difficult variable. You cannot predict it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I used to not just be able to trust my hostess. Now I can't even trust myself. I'm getting a lineup with only four people, and I'm still like 12 feet away from making my
Mhm,
sandwich.
mhm. Totally.
12 feet of sandwich, that is.
Um, there's a lot standing between me and my sandwich at all times, particularly my gut health. Speaking of which, I bought a probiotic, 30 count. Dude, I'm pro probiotics because like whenever I'm traveling, I'll just like cycle. I'll alternate between creatine and probiotics. I'll just cycle, get ready to bulk up for the travels, you know. And I don't know if this is true, but I feel like it helps me digest foreign food. Like my North American tummy is maybe not ready to fully go cold unagi, you know what I mean? And switch
Mhm.
over to Japanese food. So
The cold cut isn't a transferable skill.
I don't think so. Cold cutoff time. But yeah, so running that for about a week before I go, and then after that, running it every day. So we'll see if that helps my post travel constipation.
I will. You will be in my thoughts and prayers, Eric.
Yeah.
See, I'm not.
Get your head out of the toilet.
I want to be probiotic. I'm definitely not antibiotic. I'm usually biotic agnostic in my life. And I think that's given me a lot of benefits, Eric, because my stomach has to fight for itself. It doesn't get this kind of like cushion from daddy brain to like help it manage things, you know?
Right. You're giving your stomach some tough love.
Exactly. And I do that every time I walk into Subway, but I do that with everything. Like, what if I told you that all I've had today is two fried eggs?
Wow. You fried those eggs?
You're telling me a podcaster fried those eggs?
No, I mean, I'm just picturing you like, I don't know. Over the course of us knowing each other, I've seen you make eggs every possible way. So I'm just trying to get more intel on how you might have fried those. Oh shit, over easy. So you're flipping it. You're but not too long. You know. You ever mess with over medium?
By accident, and I always hate myself for it. I just want to throw it out. Like, I love just like popping that yolk, you know,
Hmm.
just let that drizzle come out.
Hmm.
You ever like put an over easy egg in a like a breakfast sandwich, and then when you chomp down on that yolk and it goes pop pop,
Oh
and
yeah.
then the yolk drizzles all the way down your
Yeah.
arm. Dude, I love that feeling.
You love that?
Yolk on the arm.
Nice. And then you forget to wipe it and it dries and gets crusty.
Yeah, getting yoked.
Absolutely. So eating a over easy egg with no bread is kind of twisted behavior.
Well, I bought really bad bread, you see. It was like I bought this cheap ass loaf because the good shit that I normally buy from the grocery store was sold out. I buy like there's always like one type of bread in the grocery store that's like $7 a loaf and it's really good. And then sometimes it's sold out. Usually it's never because no one wants to spend that much money on a loaf of bread.
Is this the bread that's like in the bakery section and not the bread section?
Yeah, you're going to the
Oh hell yeah. Once I learned that there's a whole bakery with bread and you don't need to shop at the bakery aisle, that was a game changer for me.
It's kind of like when you go to a speakeasy and there's like a bar within the bar. You're like, there's a bakery within the bakery section.
Yeah, or it's like instead of going to um like a restaurant that has pizza on the menu, going to a pizzeria.
Mhm.
That's kind of the same analogy, right? Like a place that specializes in it.
Mhm. Exactly.
Or like in an IGA, you ever go to the in-house Pizza Hut inside the IGA? You ever
That
have that?
grocery store has an
Mine did. I don't know if yours did, but there's literally a Pizza Hut inside the IGA, and then it changed to something else later on.
Is that kind of like when they put a Subway inside of a Home Depot?
Yeah, it's exactly it. Or a Starbucks in front of a Safeway or inside of a Safeway.
Of the subways inside other businesses. I mean, like I go to the subway in the airport, but I don't think that counts. I
Right.
want to go to the subway in the Rona. I want to go to the subway in the Home Depot. I want to go to the subway in the presumably like where else? Mark's Workwear House. Like,
Hmm.
I think I could put a Subway in like an REI maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, the REI that would make the most sense, I think. Um, what do you think's on the menu in these places? Because like presumably it's a smaller location, and they probably don't have the meat slicer on deck. They might, cut corners here and there. They probably don't even need to have the mozzarella on the menu, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if they're putting a Subway in a Patagonia, like dairy free, meat free, for real. Maybe they even don't even have a bread retarder. Like exclusively bowls.
Consultant bowls only. Damn.
Oh, that would be tough.
Yeah.
Oh man. So this bread I had to buy is like crusty, musty, rusty, dusty, dude. Like I bite into it, gently toasted. I bite
Mhm.
into it, and it literally just shatters in my mouth and turns to dust.
Sounds like you over toasted it.
Maybe I did, but I felt like I under toasted it. I think it's just naturally pre toasted.
Huh. Pre-toasted?
Well, how else? Why would it be so dusty?
I don't know. What's the brand? Can we put them on blast?
Just like bakery bread. I just got the cheaper, like
What's this from the bakery?
yeah, but it's not like it's not your blue chip tier. It's like your
No.
like what is it when you a non-voting share? You know,
Right. So this bread from the bakery, was it from Terra Breads? Was it an in-house baked bread?
In-house baked,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So we took it in-house and didn't quite fly. Sometimes a consultancy is appropriate in this case. Like if Subway brought in like a more goated baker, like every city's got their own local bakers, you know. Like
Right.
here we got Pure Bread, we got Terra Bread, we got in Vancouver all these like cloudy bakeries.
Yeah. Sourdough has infiltrated the market here.
Yeah, and they all got their proprietary like sourdough starter.
Yeah.
You know, they got IP on that. They're not
Mhm.
sharing it with anybody,
Mhm.
but maybe they could license it up to Subway so you can get the local bread. That would be pretty sick.
Mhm. That would be cool. That's how restaurants operate, like good ones here. They source local. I just watched the Anthony Bourdain episode of Copenhagen, where the entire thing is at Noma. Like the whole thing is just about Noma. And who knew Copenhagen had that many shrubs for the guy to pick and pluck and then serve for $800?
You think by this point they'd be de-shrubbed.
I know, right? I know. How's that guy not made every shrub go extinct?
Mhm. Like the unsatisfiable palate of rich people, hey?
Hmm.
They're gonna kill all the rhinos and eradicate the shrub.
Yeah, dude. First they got rid of the cow and then the pig, and now not even the shrub is safe.
What are they coming for next, though? Bumblebee? Oh, it's already gone.
Oh yeah.
I saw a bumblebee today. I was walking, I was looking at a flower, buzzed by my leg. I haven't seen a bumblebee in years. They're pretty big and fluffy.
They are really fluffy. That's because there's no flowers anywhere. But I actually read a stat. This sounds made up. I promise it's not. I read a stat yesterday that said America has the most number of bees in history right now. Like it's the number of bees in America has only gone up. And so I feel like we're being fed a lie.
So, well, maybe like what happened is everyone's like save the bees, and then
Mm,
somebody actually went and did,
right.
and now we don't
Somebody
even
did it.
do it anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So so the propaganda worked.
For
Yeah.
the bees,
The bees.
for anybody getting stung.
Yeah.
You know what's goaded? Hot honey.
Honey is so good, especially when you dip meat lovers pizza into it.
Hot honey goes so well with the crust,
Hmm.
the loaf, the last bite.
Right.
I would
Oh, yeah,
drizzle
the last
hot
bite.
honey on any sandwich, and it would be so fire.
Whoa. Sounds like you need a Nashville hot chicken like substitute in your life. Because that's kind of like, I think that's where it comes from. Like the sweet and hot uh like sauce that's tossed for the chicken.
Well, when you
Toss
think
my
about
sauce.
Nashville hot chicken, I'm thinking that's like 50% sweet, 50% spicy.
Exactly.
Kind of like split down the road. But when I think hot honey, I'm thinking 80 sweet, 20 spicy. It's like
Oh.
leans more honey than hot.
Hmm.
You know, like an aging woman.
So that's So that's maybe more like the mild option at download
Download
chicken,
chicken.
you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, you're getting the like one spice.
Right.
Right.
The 2 out of 10 Scovilles. Cool.
Yeah, you're not. It's not making hot ones, but it's at your local.
Yeah. It's like the first hot sauce on Hot Ones where the guest is always like, oh,
Yeah, maybe I'll be okay, dude. But imagine like I clearly have never been on hot ones. Maybe one day, but uh,
for our sake, I hope you never get on Hot Ones.
I'd imagine it's quite intimidating because I think everyone has a different relationship with spice.
Mhm.
So if you're like going, even if you're like super famous, like Miss Sweeney, you've been on a lot of talk shows, you've done a lot of late nights. I would be more nervous about hot ones because this extra variable affects how are you going to be able to maintain your personal brand
Mhm.
when you're like sweating and you're going to start shitting soon.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never understand why people like that show, but if I had to step outside myself for a second, I think the appeal is exactly that. It's like you see people in their vulnerable moment, you know, like wanting to die, like just sweating and snotting all over the place.
Yeah, totally. Like you're never going to see these types of A-listers snorting so much, you know?
Definitely not in public.
I'm crying.
Speaking of hot ones, did we ever discuss how Sean Evans is like was dating a porn star?
Wait, what? No, we didn't.
Yeah, let's get into that real quick. Sean Evans, GF,
Okay, okay.
Melissa Stratton,
Can you remind the listeners who Sean Evans is?
the guy from Hot Ones, the bald host.
Yes.
We were just talking about hot ones. Everyone who listens to this podcast knows who he is,
Okay, okay.
unfortunately. So
Guys.
Yeah.
and then so they broke up, and then she said, "I thought he knows how to handle the heat."
Hey.
This wicked wench.
Oh, dude, I'm sure like TMZ went crazy with the puns when when this all unfolded.
Mhm.
This wicked. So like, could he not? He couldn't handle the.
I guess he just couldn't handle the heat. I think she started being a whore.
Or continued doing that, and obviously, like
That would take a toll on any man. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's a stronger man than I.
Yeah,
Handle that for as long as he did.
yeah. He's not trying. He's not trying a lot of different sauces. He believes in
Mhm.
sauce monogamy.
Yeah. Apparently, he broke up with her on Valentine's Day, which is a devious lick.
That is a mean move for
Yeah.
sure.
It's like, babe, I didn't get you any flowers. Also, it's not going to work out.
That has to be one of two things. It's either an evil premeditated move, like you want to see this person burn,
Mhm.
or the pressures of Valentine's Day became too much.
it got
It
to
was
him.
it was an overwhelming emotional breakdown on the day of.
Right.
I actually feel like the second one is more likely.
Mhm. Okay, I'm clicking on the TMZ link.
Dude, when your girlfriend comes from her other Valentine's Day date to join you at your date,
Oh no. When your girlfriend gets railed in the ass on Valentine's Day and she's late for your dinner. Let's see here. Click to read more. Thanks, TMZ. Yeah, I think apparently just the relationship was a little bit too public. And also she's like kind of an unknown porn star. Like, have you heard of this name? I haven't.
no, I don't know shit. I don't know very many porn star names to be frank with you, Eric.
But also, like, I don't know, if you're gonna put up with that, like, they need to be like upper echelon. You know what I mean?
Especially if you're a public figure.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
That's really unfortunate for him. I've never felt so much
Empathy for
empathy,
Sean Evans.
empathy from like for what's really just another podcast host.
Whoa, yeah, true. He's a podcast host that just eats on mic. Damn it.
So
I
if
hate
you
this
want
guy so much now.
I learned how to pretend to eat on mic. The trick is you just pretend you're eating while you're talking and like this. You like him
Are you really giving me this as advice right now? Like, to do this, you got to just pretend you're doing it?
because I learned all about voice acting. If you remember from previous episodes, we were doing some good voices,
Right.
and this was one of the lessons I learned.
So, about voice acting, why don't you just eat on mic?
Well, I don't know. I think it's maybe gross.
Well,
Well,
so
so
is
is
pretending.
pretending.
Yeah, but it's less gross because there's no actual like food visible.
Mm.
There's something about like, do you want to see chewed food in someone's mouth?
Yeah, but it's voice acting. You can't see anything. So why would it be gross? If anything, people would think like, "Wow, what an amazing performance." Yeah.
Well, I can do voice acting with beer in my mouth.
You should have just thrown up as well. That would have been a cool finisher. Yeah.
I need to spit into a bucket at the end of this
Yeah,
episode.
shit. Give me some.
Yeah. I mean, okay, that concept was doomed to fail if you think about it. Like, how can that possibly still be entertaining? Like in 2024.
I know it's like such a like one-dimensional shtick,
Yeah.
completely unlike our 300 episodes of podcast about the same fast food restaurant.
I mean, we've only grown. So,
Yeah, we're a dynamic character at this point.
mhm.
So I want to talk real quick about. I want to go back to waiting in line at restaurants or getting on the wait list. Um, I have this theory or this like resentment, I guess, that TikTok and Instagram
Like viral
content is basically making certain places just way too busy to visit.
Absolutely.
and it's like
Someone listening is like, "Duh, you idiot!" But I've experienced this firsthand. Like, new noodle place opens up in Vancouver. Like, oh, this looks cool. I find it organically, right? And then I'm unaware that it's been trending on TikTok for like a year. I try to go, and there's a lineup, like a 45-minute lineup. It's bullshit, man.
Yeah, dude, you're running in the wrong digital circles if you're missing out on this.
I just need to stay off of it completely and avoid it at all costs. That would help. That would help. I would never have to wait for anything except for my Uber Eats delivery.
It's not just restaurants though. It's activities. It's the Trevi Fountain. It's everywhere I want to go.
Yeah, dude. When the Trevi Fountain went number 1 on Billboard,
Yeah, damn it. They got a 9.6 on Pitchfork.
oh fuck! And now everyone is going.
Yeah, everyone's using it as their identity.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is the case with all trending objects. Like I was talking in a previous episode about like sardines and how like that's now becoming an identifier. You know, it's like your experience at the new ramen place is your identifier. You know, and it's a short lived like high that people are chasing, because if your identity is just like whatever is popping off, then you're going to burn out trying to keep that identity. You've got to make it more than that.
But maybe that's the underlying issue. It's like everyone thinks that they need to like wrap up their identity in the food they eat, where it's like they can't just go try a random spot. It might suck, it might be good, but you tried it and that's kind of fun. You know what I mean? Or even just enjoying the food for what it is versus being like, oh, I went to the new viral donut restaurant. It's like maybe I should stay on TikTok and these apps so I can just see that and then like cross them off the list. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going. You know, it's just like this is actually now the blacklist.
Well, in a lot of ways, like food is always something that brings people together. Look at us making a podcast about food, and eating out in particular kind of helps play that role, because you can have a shared experience with somebody, even if you didn't dine together. Oh, you went to that new wine bar? Me too. What did you think of it? You know, there's a conversation and there's a tribal bond that forms between us.
That can exist outside of like the most popular places with an hour-long wait, though, because like you can be like, "Yo, did you go to this random spot on Denman Street that no one's ever heard of?" Like, you haven't, great. Let me take you. That's another way for us to bond. Or if you have been, then you're like, "Oh yeah, like I didn't know anyone else went there. The place rocks, right?" You're like, "Yeah, dude, no one goes there."
I think influencers are the next 100 years. In the next 100 years, influencers are going to be the same type of like societal problematic industry as graphic designers were in the first 100 years.
Yeah, they're kind of already trending that way. So yeah, I believe it.
The writing's on the wall. And it's in a nice serif font.
Yeah, totally. There's what like the the industries that everyone's gonna hate are like influencer, what else? Creative director, graphic designer, big tech CEO maybe. Yeah, baristas, definitely podcasters. Yeah, van life people.
Oh, already way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who makes music.
Yeah. Anyone who has like an artisan donut shop.
Yeah, any type of unsufferable creative enterprise. Like I think like
Yeah.
we're just gonna lean hard on like the old boomer jobs, like accounting, finance,
Yeah,
like the trades.
it's probably our generation's job to re-romanticize those boring jobs and like I don't know, just have a steady like RSP or something.
I think maybe it's our job to like find something that is long term that we can love in the creative fields because no one else is going to do it. It's going to just get washed.
I agree. Speaking of long term, I say we cut this episode short and we pick up the conversation next week.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, Breadheads. Think fresh, everybody.
Ciao.
Ciao.